Paradise Square is one of the most nominated musicals at this year's Tony Awards, with 10 nods, including Best Musical and Best Featured Actor for A.J. Shively. Let's send it out to Charlie Cooper.
Thanks, Tamsin. I spoke with Paradise Square's A.J. Shively about what the show and his first Tony nomination means to him. You were just nominated for your first Tony Award for your role in Paradise Square. Talk to me about that feeling.
You know, I can't even describe it because it really hasn't processed yet. It doesn't seem real. I'm doing this dance track, and to be recognized for this job in particular I've worked so hard, and it's just so meaningful. It's really hard to believe. I'm still in disbelief, yeah.
It is crazy because so much of this performance is so dance-based. You don't have a dance background. Did it blow your mind when you learned that dance would be a part of it?
Well, so I joined during the developmental phase. I joined in a workshop in 2018, and I didn't have a dance audition. They were like, there might be a moment of Irish dancing. And I was like, oh yeah, I took tap class in college. You know, sure, why not? I got a C. I wasn't very good in it, but like, you know, I work hard. And it's just transformed into, I'm a principal dancer on Broadway. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
Even without necessarily a dance background, you have Irish roots, so it's almost like it comes naturally. How much more does the story speak to you?
Well, this is how and when my family came to America. That side of my family came to America. You know, I hear the Irish whistle at the beginning. I hear the fiddle playing, you know, the Irish harp, and like, it's in my bone marrow. I just feel it resonating. But the dance in particular, I have the benefit of having literal world champion Irish dancers as my Irish choreographers, Jason Aramis and Garrett Coleman, who are both in the show, to learn the cultural history and the heritage, that it's not just, you know, bouncing with your arms by your side, but like what that came from, what it means, and that kind of, the Irish pride, it feels wonderful, you know. Yeah, it makes it that much more impactful, that much more special.
You talk about all the learning that you did throughout this process, and I feel like there are so many people who come to see this show who walk out feeling like they too have learned so much from it. Can you kind of speak on that?
Yeah, I never knew about this period of American history. You know, it's like the Tulsa Massacre, it's like Seneca Village, which was concurrent with this society in Lower Manhattan. It's not that it wasn't written down, it's just it wasn't spoken about, it was not taught. It's been such an important journey, I think, because that wheel of time keeps turning, and if you go back and look at the pamphlets that kind of turned that socioeconomic anger into racial anger, that language, that discourse is almost verbatim what you see today in the online media, in like Reddit chat boards and those kind of things. I think it's extremely important that we air this dirty American laundry. And also, I think it's extremely important that we honor this community, that this was happening in America in the 1860s, that, you know, that there's a lyric in our show, we were safe or separated, but love left us no choice. That humanity will come together. It will be tested, but it will come together and it will stay together. And we certainly feel it in the cast, and it's our goal every night to include the audience in that feeling, to feel part of that community.
How do you prepare your body for a role like this? No, seriously.
It takes a long time. Well, I mean, so there's the years of like being one-on-one with Garrett and Jason, who I mentioned earlier, just learning how to Irish dance, you know, which is painful, both physically and mentally. Yeah, my calves look completely different than they did when I started this process. On the daily basis, you know, I start warming up 2 hours before curtain just to make sure I don't hurt myself. I've got compression tights that I wear to kind of keep my muscles happy. I started reading Runner's World magazine and like seeing what endurance athletes do. So, you know, I've got all the supplements and like the protein bars that they eat. I eat during intermission. I eat as much as I can. Yeah.
A random question. So I know that you were doing this for a long time, and then you went into architecture, and then you came back into this. Aren't you glad that you like fell back into this?
I am. Yeah. So I did child acting, and then I hit my growth spurt, and that didn't work out anymore. And yeah, and I was like, okay, I did the actor thing. And I was really into architecture. You know, that fits that same kind of like perfectionism, like you do theater over and over again to get it right, and like getting the things to line up and the algebra of it I really enjoyed. And when it came time to actually apply to schools, first of all, I realized architecture is just as competitive as acting is, but the bug had bit.
What would something like a Tony win mean to you?
Oh man, well, just, I mean, being nominated, being recognized, you know, it's bizarre because I've worked on this the same way that I worked on everything, you know, every show I've done. And it's kind of almost embarrassing because it's like, oh, people were watching. And to win would just, I don't even think it could improve on just the recognition, and that there are so many first-time nominees this year, and so many people who have been doing such good work for so long. New York theater actors, tried and true, you know, treading the boards for years. It's such a privilege to be nominated with these people, and to win would just, you know, I would get to thank people on TV. That would be great.